able to slow you guys down?
We had some unforced turnovers the first couple possessions of the fourth, and that obviously led to them getting some easy buckets, extending the lead a little bit. We settled down a little, I think, a little bit after that, and got some good shots. They tried to send a little bit more attention to our pick and rolls. I think we could slow down just a little bit and try to find the right matchups. But that first 2 or 3 minutes kind of set the tone for the rest of the fourth. It gave them a little bit of a cushion. And we had a hard time, responding after that. So between first 3 minutes of the fourth and the first 12 minutes of the game, that was pretty much it.
Back left.
Steph Timkowicz, The Athletic. Draymond did say in the pile that he heard you screaming. Was it just a lot of pain there? And how scary was that?
Yeah, he's a big body, obviously. I haven't seen the play, so I don't know if it could have been avoided or not. But I was in that situation with Marcus back in the Bay, and you just want to get your foot out of there. That was all I was trying to do at that point, knowing the position I was in. But like I said, it's not as, for what I feel like, it's not as bad. So hopefully it responds well over the next 2 days.
Question on the right.
Dan Feldman, NBC Sports. When Robert Williams is out there, how much does that affect what shots you can take, what passes you can make?
I mean, we've in our game plan we've talked about just being aware of where he is, because especially depending on who he's guarding, he can kind of come out of nowhere. There was a play early in the fourth. I got by Grant Williams. I thought I had a daylight to get a shot up, and underestimate how athletic he was and how much he could bother that shot. So there are situations where we can use that to our advantage, because he's going to be aggressive. He's going to keep trying to make plays on the ball. You got to be aware of where he is, because that's what he does for them on that end of the floor.
Is that something you have to feel out game by game with his health, how much he can do and what you can do against it?
No, it was after the first game. You kind of got to feel, and then it's just a matter of can you execute or not, and can you make the right decisions every single time. It's a bang-bang play, whether you're looking to get a shot off the rim or you got to swing it, because he's showing his length.
David in the middle.
David Aldrich, The Athletic. Steph, you've heard over the years fans getting on Draymond for various things. What did you think of the chants tonight and the frequency of the chants?
Par for the course. Every arena you kind of get a little something. It's been like that the whole playoffs, and every run we've made over the course he expects it. So no different tonight.
Vince.
Steph, Vince Goodwill, Yahoo Sports. Was this one of those games when you start off early and you fall behind 10, 12 points? Did you feel like this was one of those games you had to hang around in, and maybe you could kind of steal it on the back end if you just stayed close enough? And, in relation to that fall, do you feel like maybe there's a little recklessness there in that situation, considering it's the second time that's happened to you against them this season?
I mean, the first question is you want to get off to a better start, because you got to know that a really good team like Boston is, they're going to feed off of the change of venues and coming out with a lot of energy and aggression. And, Jalen got off to a good start in the first quarter. Made some tough shots, some ones we didn't really press up into his body. And we paid the price for that over the course of the game, because we clawed our way back, had a 1-point lead at one point in the third quarter, and you do all that work to get back into it. But we feel like we can play a lot better with that same third quarter intensity, where you're not on your heels for big parts of the game and don't have to win the game twice in a sense. So we got to correct that if we want to get game 4. I don't really have any comments on the other play. I haven't really seen it yet. I just know how it felt.
Dan here in the middle.
Steph, Dan Devine from The Ringer. When Clay was up here, he mentioned the fact that you've sort of been here before in 2015, down 2-1. I'm wondering if you see any similarities in terms of this Boston team, that Cavs team, the situations, the physicality in the series, any parallels you can draw as you move forward trying to get back into the series?
Nothing specific, just that the situation is what it is. We're on the road. We must-win game 4. We had a must-win game after a tough one in game 1, and we got game 2. So the flow, we still feel like we obviously can win the series, and we got to come out with the right intensity and focus in game 4. But to Clay's point, it does help knowing we've been through a little bit of everything over these last 8 years, and can draw on that experience of showing up, when you need to stay in the series.
Last question to Kendra up front.
Do you remember the last time you had just one free throw in a game? And did tonight's Celtics defense on you feel the same level of physical and tightness as it had through the first 2 games, or different or more?
Felt the same. I mean, their personnel and the way that they defend, they are very physical. They have a way of, obviously with Marcus on the ball, he's pretty aggressive. Robert and behind the play, and they got usually a lot of length and size on the wings. I don't know why it was only one free throw. I felt like there were a couple possessions that could have, or plays that could have gone my way. It is hard to understand the flow of the game based on some of the calls that went my way, where I have 4, and you're having to defend a certain way because you want to stay on the floor and not allow that to impact the game. But you still got to find a way to be effective no matter how the game is being called. And it's a good lesson to learn for next game.
Thanks, Steph.
Question for Jason. First row on the left.
Jason, I know it's something you've been working through all year, but just the amount of pressure defenses throw at you, how have you just kind of reached the point where you know where to go, you're able to make those quick decisions, and you have your outlets? Like, what just worked in that sense for you tonight?
Just watching a lot of film from game to game. And I think just experience, just going through it night after night. You only can learn from it and get better and apply it to, the next game and the next game.
Fifth row on the left side.
In game 2, they seem to just kind of anticipate where you guys were looking, either drop off the ball or kick out the ball. So what did you see in the film from that, and how did you implement your corrections for tonight?
Yeah, I think, we had a lot of turnovers at the rim last game, with those guys stunning and getting back to the big. So I think just watching film and seeing where, open spaces were, and make sure we were getting to those so guys could see kickouts and things like that.
Second row on the left side.
Hey, Jason. Left side over here. Ime said yesterday that he thought the off-ball movement needed to be a little bit better to help you get your guys in a better flow. Do you feel like you guys did that tonight? And do you think that is a result of film?
Yeah. I think in that third quarter last game we got stagnant. I think obviously it starts with getting stops. Last game I think not getting stops affected our offense, and we were stagnant and weren't moving it as well as we did the first game. So just being aware of that coming into tonight and making sure that, the ball was popping and we were moving and cutting and things like that.
Back row on the right side.
Jason, Dan Roach from WBZ. What did you like about your team's response in that fourth quarter after the third? And you held them to 11 points, and you seemed like you guys were driving, taking the ball to the basket. And what did you like overall about that?
I think that's when we are at our best, right? When we respond to tough situations, when we respond to teams going on runs and things like that. We call the timeout, we regroup, and lock back in. I think that's when we're at our best. And I think we did that several times a night, and I think that's as a result, we end up winning the game. So just being focused and locked in and everybody competing and being on the same page, we're going to need that, obviously, to get the job done.
Fourth row in the middle.
Daniel Bell, BSO.
first finals game in Boston in 12 years, and the crowd seemed to be in it before the game even started. Was that a little bit of a boost for you guys at points in the game?
Of course, throughout this entire playoffs, we haven't been as good at home, and we definitely feel bad about that, to our fans, because they give us so much energy and so much juice. Like you said, before the game even started, you could feel the energy throughout the building. And, first finals game since 2012 or 10, or whatever it was. They were excited, and it just felt great. I feel like it's been a while since we played in this building, so happy to get a win in front of the crowd. They've been so great for us throughout the playoffs and all season, and throughout my career. So it was great to get a win for them, and we're going to need them on Friday as well.
Fifth row, left side.
Hey, Jason, I was talking after you guys went out, gave up that run. They went up late in the third quarter. You said earlier in the year you guys might have folded, but you guys were able to kind of bounce back and have the poise to recover from it. What allowed you guys to withstand that run and then be able to respond the way you did both to end the third and then go into the fourth to basically just regain that lead right back again?
Yeah, I think that's kind of, when we turned our season around, when we turned that corner, that's what I talked about earlier, responding. Early in the season, we would have given up leads and, lost games like that. Whereas now, things happen, right? They're a great team. They got great players. They're going to make shots. They're going to go on runs. But it's all about how you respond. And, we didn't, hold our head down or anything. We called a timeout, regrouped, figured it out, and made winning plays. So, I was definitely proud of the group, of that.
Fourth row on the right side, Sam Amick.
Sam Amick, The Athletic. Jason, I wonder, did it feel any different from a normal playoff game? First finals game for y'all at home. You got Paul Pierce out there going crazy. You got the banners. You got people excited because it's been 12 years. Are you too locked in to soak any of that up, or does it hit you?
Paul Pierce, we had Nelly. We had Nelly in the building. St. Louis was in the house. It's tough, right? Because, so much media attention and, the routines are different. We practicing at the Garden and things like that. So in those moments, it's like, this is a lot. This is the finals. This is big. But at the same time, you want to keep the same focus of, we got a game on Friday. We got to lock in and things like that. So, when you walk in the Garden and, it's already, filled while you're warming up, you definitely notice a different energy, but you can't get too caught up in that. It's still basketball, still a game, and, we're just trying to, win one at a time.
We'll take two more questions. Joe Varden, third row on the left.
Hey, Jason. You spoke a little bit earlier about when the Celtics are at their best, but I'm curious what you think of as far as when you have been at your best in this series, you individually.
Just attacking, the rim, and not settling as much, just being aggressive, and not always for me, right? Knowing who's helping, where they're coming from, which guys in which spot to make the right play. Obviously everybody knows I can score and things like that, but my mindset throughout the playoffs and even heightened during the finals is, I'm just trying to do whatever it takes, for us to win and impact winning. So, just trying to make the right play. Obviously, it's not going to be perfect every time, but, just taking that mindset in every game that, I'm going to do whatever it takes for us to win and, try to make the right play for myself or, getting somebody open or, getting somebody else a shot. I think we all have that mindset. We're, really playing well as a team. And when we do that, I think we're really good.
Last question, fourth row in the middle.
Daniel Belvia. So you mentioned Nelly. I don't know if you got to see, but he was wearing your jersey, and it's probably not the first or last time he'll be wearing your jersey. But how was it having him perform at the finals, or St. Louis guy perform at the finals that you're playing in?
Yeah, that was big. That's my guy. I know Nelly, forever. Him and my mom went to high school. He's known my dad. St. Louis is as big as this room, so we all know each other. You know, Nelly is arguably like the most famous guy from St. Louis. Until I can catch up.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Robert.
All right, we'll get started for Andrew here on the left with Maddie.
Hey, Andrew, you guys had another inspired third quarter run. What is it about those 12 minutes out of that break that you guys are able to just dominate? And why do you think you guys weren't able to carry that momentum into the fourth quarter?
Third quarter, we just let the game settle down, and, we come out ready. But fourth quarter, I feel like they just played harder, more physical, getting offensive rebounds. Yeah.
We'll go to Kendra up front.
Andrew, what's kind of the gut reaction or initial reaction when you see Steph kind of come up from that pile up, limping, and then as he heads to the bench, he's also grabbing at his abdomen?
You just hoping he's okay. That's it. I'm just hoping, he's good and, because Steph stuff, so just hoping he's good and, ready for, the next game.
Anything else for Andrew? Tim? In the back?
Andrew, I don't know if you were actually in the scrum, but were you around it, and what was going on? It was kind of hard to see with all the bodies on the ground there.
It was a loose ball, and people were just flying to the ball. I couldn't really tell you too much more than that.
This is Marcus Thompson, The Athletic. How do you like the looks you were able to get, especially when they started paying more attention to Steph?
Well, I like the looks. I feel like I had a lot of open threes I just didn't make. But just gotta keep shooting with confidence, and I know it'll drop.
Next question on the left.
Andrew, Dan Devine from The Ringer. It seemed like they, after having a really tough time spacing the floor last game, they were able to generate more space today. Maybe even some more times where they got a runway, bring guys back to sort of half court. How were they able to do that better, and what challenges does that present for you as you try to stretch them out or defend them as they get all that space?
They did create a lot of space offensively tonight. But we just got to shrink the floor, keep playing defense that we did before, just shrinking the floor and guys at elbows and, helping each other, and we'll be fine.
Final question to Michael.
Michael Pina, Sports Illustrated. Andrew, could you just speak to the impact that Rob Williams had on tonight's game? He was moving better than he has earlier in the series.
Mm-hmm. No, he's a big body. He's a rim protector, so you just got to always be aware of him.
Thanks.